Well, for the first time since 1996, the International Brotherhood of Teamsters Union is declining to endorse a candidate in the presidential race. In a statement, the labor union says that neither Vice President Kamala Harris or former President Donald Trump have their support after it was left with few commitments on top Teamsters issues from either candidate, ultimately leading to no definite support among members for either party's nominee. This comes as thousands of workers are striking across multiple sectors now, and that includes the airline industry, after 33,000 Boeing workers walked off the job last week, demanding better pay and retirement benefits. In response, Boeing announced that it would initiate temporary furloughs against non-union workers over the coming days. My next guest is right there on the front lines of that strike, President of IAM Union International, Brian Bryant. Brian, really appreciate you joining us. Let's start with Teamsters declining to endorse either candidate. What's your reaction, and where does your union stand when it comes to the presidential race right now?
Yes, where our union stands, we use our democratic process. We also had an internal process where we polled our members, and our members at that time had overwhelmingly voted to endorse President Biden and Vice President Harris. Unfortunately, with President Biden making the right decision and deciding to step aside in the best interest of the country, that left us with a position of not being able to having the time to re-poll our members. But we used our next best step, which was to take it to our international convention that we just completed a couple weeks ago in New York. And we overwhelmingly voted to endorse Vice President Harris and Governor Walz for the next administration.
Okay, all right. And now let's talk about the strike. 33,000 Boeing workers, Brian, walking off the job, demanding better pay, better retirement benefits. Here's just a bit of what we've been hearing from the workers.
We didn't want to do this any more than they did, but their first contract offer was a complete insult.
You've got a bunch of airplane programs in there that need people to work on them.
Like our CEO that previously left us, this was his mistake in the uppers. The hourlies didn't do this. This is their mistake.
Boeing needs to just do the right thing here. You know, they need to step up. Didn't need to come to this.
All right, it didn't need to come to this. So, Brian, workers, you know, they're fighting just to get single-digit increases here. So why is your union rejecting Boeing's offer of a 25% raise over 4 years, along with improvements to health care costs and retirement benefits?
Yes, thank you. First of all, you have to realize that these workers have gone through 10 years, nearly a decade of wage stagnation, the loss of their pension, continued increase in costs of health insurance. All along, they've seen the corporate executives of this company continuously getting their high salaries, increases in those salaries, their benefits, their buyouts, their buybacks, their bonuses, and things like that. And our members finally said, enough is enough. And what you heard from our members and those Boeing workers on the strike line, we've heard that same message from thousands of our members over the last few days, both on the picket lines in Washington State and here in Oregon, in Portland, Oregon. That message is echoed over and over and over.
So, Brian, Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg is calling this a, quote, tough decision that impacts everybody, saying that the leadership team will be taking a pay cut during the strike, also promises to continue to transparently communicate as this dynamic situation evolves. Your thoughts?
My thoughts on that, look, this is a typical smoke and mirrors campaign by a corporation when there's a labor dispute. Look, all of those is smoke and mirrors. Look, the bottom line is Boeing knows what it's going to take to settle this strike, and they could do that very easily tomorrow. And they've got a perfect blueprint that they could do that. They could use the same blueprint, that same blueprint that they've used to pay those salaries, to pay those bonus, to buy those stocks back. That same blueprint could be used for these workers, their workers, our members that are out here fighting for not only their livelihoods, but their families' livelihoods and future generations' livelihoods. Look, workers, this isn't just here at the Boeing Company. Workers, when they're left behind the way they have been here at the Boeing Company, workers finally get to a point where they say enough is enough. We're going to stand up. We're going to fight for what's rightfully ours. We're going to get what we deserve. We're going to get what we earned. And we're going to do that if we have to take a strike. And that's what's happened here. But clearly, the Boeing company could settle this strike very easily tomorrow. They've got the blueprint. They know what the blueprint is. They could go to that same well to support these workers and give them a fair contract that recognizes the work that they do for this corporation, the planes that they build, the best planes in the world. They can continually build those, the best military planes in the world. They could continue to do that. All they have to do is go to that same well. They've got the blueprint. They know how to do it. They could very easily end this strike tomorrow.
Let me ask you, just with, I mean, from the congressional testimony back to the planes with all the problems, including the one with the door that blew off. I mean, Boeing has been under criticism, under fire, losing a lot of money. This strike could cost Boeing a lot of money. And data is actually showing that the company that contributes nearly $80 billion to the U.S. economy each year, could take such a big hit. Are you concerned that the future of Boeing could look pretty dim? I mean, do you even think it could go under?
No, first of all, what I would want to tell you, Kira, is that none of that, absolutely none of that, is the workers' fault. All of the problems that Boeing currently has with them they've done them themselves. This is done at the corporate level. This is done at the higher level executives of this company. They're the ones that have made the bad decisions that have put the Boeing Corporation in the position that they have. To blame the workers, that's just shameful, and it's not warranted. Look, the workers here, they build the best planes in the world, and they want to continue building the best planes in the world. And all Boeing has to do is bring a fair contract to them that recognizes the value of the work that they do with wages that reflect what they should be earning, with a pension. They need to address the issue of retirement security. You can't have people working 20, 30, 40 years with a company and leaving without some type of retirement security payment for themselves and their family. That's just unheard of in these days. And I know the Boeing Corporation is going to say, look, we've got a great 401k with a match to it. And that's true. That is absolutely true. But here's the problem with that. They also got thousands and thousands of workers. And because of the position that they're in with their current salary with the company, they can't afford to participate in that 401k to the level where it will make up for the loss of their pension. And the only way to deal with that is you've got to increase the wages. You've got to come up with a plan that recognizes somebody that works for a company 20, 30, 40 years with a retirement security.
Brian Bryant, appreciate you coming on. It's a tumultuous time right now, no doubt. Appreciate it, and hope we can stay in close touch.
Thank you very much, Kira.